Hello and welcome back to another episode of Injustice For All MMA. My name is David, and this is a sad episode for UFC 298, Volkanovski versus Topuria. Before we get to the main event, the reason why I'm speaking this low is because everyone at home is sleeping right now, so I have to be a little careful. I have to be very, very quiet. Let's start off the card. Okay. Again, I'm sorry for the sad demeanor, but Volkanovski lost. It's just I wish he didn't lose. But in some universe out there, I'm kind of happy for Elliott Topuria. Anyway, let's get to this. Let's get over the card. Let's start off with Lee versus Maverick. I had this 30-27 for Maverick. Okay, 30-27. In the first round, Maverick outstruck Lee on the feet, and both of them had a takedown. In the second round, Lee had a takedown, but Maverick had a reversal, and she outstruck Lee as well in that round. Third round, Maverick outstruck Lee on the feet. Maverick had a takedown with a little bit of ground and pound. Lee was active on the bottom, and she had a submission attempt as well, but it wasn't enough. It really wasn't enough to change the overall score of this third round. You go to the judges' scorecards. Rafael Davis and Felicia they have it 30-27 as well for Maverick. And then Ron McCarthy, he wants to be different, so he gives a 10-9 to Lee in the last round, and the first two rounds to Maverick, so he has a 29-28. Honorable mention to Ron McCarthy. I don't think that scorecard's correct, but whatever. We go to the second. Honorable mention of the nights, Elliott versus Woodburn. I also had this 30-27 for Elliott. Some of the, we score these every week to the point where these should be fucking consistent, but they're not. They're not consistent because why? Because why? Why would they ever be consistent? That's the beauty of MMA, is inconsistent scorecards yield debate, or just fights looking different, presenting you with different scorecards. So there's that. I'm no better or worse than anyone else. In the first, at 30-27 for Elliott, in the first round, Woodburn dropped Elliott very early in the first round, but then Elliott got a takedown off of getting dropped and had ground and pound for literally the rest of the round, 3+ minutes. We've seen rounds like this. Okay, we've seen rounds like this. This is 100% Elliott's round. You go to the next round. Elliott outstruck Woodburn on the feet, and he had a takedown with ground and pound for 3+ minutes. You go to the third round. Elliott had another takedown in the third round. He had a takedown with ground and pound for 2+ minutes. That's the gist of the third round. And you go to the judges' scorecards. Mike Bell has a 30-27 for Elliott. Chris Lieben has a 30-27 for Elliott. And then Elliott Kelly gives the first round to Woodburn, and then gives the last two rounds to Elliott. Honorable mention to Elliott Kelly. That's a shitty scorecard. Next on the honorable mention list, I'm sorry, I'm just all over the place right now. Nakamura versus Vera. Vera was the guy from The Ultimate Fighter. And that's pretty much it. Nakamura versus Vera. I had a 30-27 for Nakamura in the first round. Quick tidbit. The commentary, at least in the first round, not in the commentary, Joe Rogan was really critiquing Nakamura's ground output on the ground, and I found it infuriating. Again, I'm going to be really mad. I have a blistering headache. Volkanovski lost. It's a sad, Sunday afternoon. I just finished watching it. I avoided all the spoilers. It's sad. I'm really sad. It's not a good day. I'm sad. And when I was watching this fight, Joe is critiquing Nakamura's lack of output on the ground here. And the problem with his critique is, after he is criticizing Nakamura's output on the ground, he's talking about, well, but Vera's really slippery. Well, yeah, that's the whole fucking point. Vera won't stop moving. And half of Nakamura's shots are him just swinging at Vera while Vera is moving. So, I mean, it was smart for Vera to just kind of pick his shots the way he was doing it. And even if he, I could make another argument. Even if he didn't strike at all, this is a really grubby argument, but stick with me here. Even if he didn't land at the very least 10 strikes down there on Vera, you could argue he won every round just off of just the grappling exchanges alone. But I won't make that argument. I'm just throwing up that point there. 30-27 Nakamura. First round, Nakamura had a lot of ground control. Basically, Vera somehow gets to the ground. It's not even a takedown. It's Vera pulls guard. He reaches for a leg. That's where they end up for the entire remaining 4 minutes of the round. Nakamura has a bunch of ground control and some ground and pound for about 4 minutes. Second round, Nakamura gets a takedown of his own with some ground and pound for 4+ minutes. This is an actual takedown. And then the third round, same thing as the first, kind of, where Vera pulls guard, essentially, goes for a leg, pulls guard. I think he pulls guard traditionally in this round, and Nakamura has a bunch of control time with some ground and pound for 4+ minutes. You go to the judges' scorecards, and somebody wanted to be different. Somebody wanted to be cute. Ron McCarthy has a 30-27 for Nakamura. Rafael Davis has a 30-27 for Nakamura, and Chris Lieben also has it 30-27 for Nakamura. I guess the reason why I tallied this was just to talk about the commentary and how I found it annoying. But in an overall scheme of the commentary, I was just maybe a star. I put a marker on this one just to talk about how maybe a little too harsh they were on Nakamura. The commentary was actually really well today. I'm always on here whining about Michael Bisping, about how I hate Michael Bisping and his commentary, about how it's probably pound for pound the worst commentary. Coupling him with Joe actually made the commentary seem chill and lax. There were some moments of awkwardness and a couple moments of funny, a couple moments of not funny, but overall, as a general product, it wasn't bad. This commentary group wasn't actually bad. This combination was pretty good. So there's that. You go to the next honorable mention. This is an actual honorable mention now. Lima versus Tafa. Lima 10-9 in the first round for Lima. It ends in a TKO for Lima in the second round. In the first round, Lima outstruck Tafa on the feet, and he had takedown with ground and pound for 2+ minutes. And then, like I said, in the second round, it's a TKO via leg kick. You don't see it too often, but it happened here. Felicia O, she has a 10-9 in the first round for Lima. Same for Rafael Davis. And then Elliott Kelly has a 10-8. Honorable mention. It's stupid. It's unnecessary. It's inflating the scorecards. A 10-8 for Lima in that first round for Elliott Kelly. Honorable mention. There's no need for it. It's really, truly unnecessary. You go to the next honorable mention, and this is definitely arguably the most controversial scorecard of the night. Okay? We'll get to people thinking Ilya won the first round. That's nonsense. But this is the most controversial one of the night. Lemos versus Dern. I had 29-28 for Dern. Close marker on the first round, of course. First round to Dern, last round to Dern. Second round for Amanda Lemos. In the very first round, okay, Lemos outstruck Dern on the feet by about 10+ strikes. She was outstriking her by about 10 strikes. Dern gets a takedown in the middle of the round and lands enough ground and pound, 2+ minutes to pretty much close the round, enough ground and pound to really put this at even and arguably steal this round, in my view. It's very close, but you can argue that Mackenzie Dern won that first round. I was very surprised to hear all 3 judges were on tap. Not a single judge was like, the second half of that round was for Mackenzie Dern. I was very surprised at that, but it is what it is. The second round, Lemos outstruck and dropped Mackenzie Dern twice. I'm surprised no one gave this a 10-8. I'd be pissed. The second drop was kind of weird. She drops her one time and then she drops her a second time. But the second time she drops her, it's not really a drop. It's more or less like Mackenzie just kind of like she falls over like slowly. It's a weird look. Lemos had some ground and pound, and she also had a takedown as well at the end of the round. And then Mackenzie Dern has a reversal at the end of the round too, and she lands a couple strikes that don't really matter. Third round, Dern drops Lemos at the start. Now, I say drop. It's not like I replayed it back. It's not really a drop. It's kind of a drop. She drops her, but like Lemos is off balance. Like Lemos is, she threw a kick and then Mackenzie hits her, so it's not really a drop. It's not really a drop because even Lemos gets up pretty quickly. But Dern drops Lemos. She gets a takedown. I'm sorry. Give me a second. Dern drops Lemos and then has some ground and pound down there. Lemos is also active, but not as active as Mackenzie Dern is down there, and that round belongs to Mackenzie Dern. You go to the judges' scorecards, and all 3 have it the same way. Mike Bell, Derek Cleary, Saul D'Amato, 29-28, the first 2 rounds to Amanda Lemos. I'm surprised a judge didn't give the first round to Dern at all. But no robbery. I just think that first round is very close. Next honorable mention is Hernandez versus Kopylov. First round, 10-9 to Hernandez. And then it ends in a submission win for Hernandez. In the very first round, Hernandez barely outstrikes Kopylov. It's very interesting because in that first round, Kopylov is outstriking Hernandez. And then in the not waning seconds, but in the last few seconds, Hernandez is just holding Kopylov on the fence and then just doing the sort of enough clinch strikes to basically even up what Kopylov had on the feet. Because Kopylov wasn't outstriking Hernandez by a lot. In fact, he just had like a handful of strikes. He was a handful of strikes ahead of him. And then what Hernandez did on the fence was enough to really to take the round away. None of them I would count as takedowns. I know they probably gave him a takedown in one of them, but none of those were takedowns in that first round. You go to the judges' scorecards, and Chris Lieben has a 10-9 for Hernandez. Derek Cleary has a 10-9 for Hernandez. And Saul D'Amato has a 10-9 for Kopylov. I want to get... it's still an honorable mention. But no. In fact, it's an honorable mention because Kopylov wasn't outstriking him clear. This wasn't Dern Lemos where... No. In fact, I won't even compare it to Dern Lemos round 1. He wasn't outstriking Hernandez clear on the feet to where those clinch strikes at the end are irrelevant. He was essentially barely outstriking Hernandez. And so those clinch strikes at the end by Hernandez was definitely the differentiator, or was definitely the difference. So honorable mention there, Saul D'Amato. Next honorable mention is Neal versus Garry. This shouldn't have been a split decision. I understand people online were like, oh, it's close. They kept saying it's close. Fucking watch the fight. It wasn't close. It was not close. People can't score. People are scoring the wrong shit. Like, watch the fucking... What are we doing? 29-28 Garry. Not a split decision. I hate... This shit pisses me off. Not a split decision. Okay, first round for Neal. Neal is out... Whether you want to call it barely or not, he's outstriking Garry by enough in that first round. Okay? And then the last 2 rounds, Go to Garry. Simple. First round. Okay, Neal outstrikes Garry by about 4 strikes. It's not a lot, but it's clear that he's outstriking Garry. This isn't like some sort of like nail biter. Okay, second round, close on strikes, but Garry's outstriking him. They talk about the commentary references the activity. Even if you take away the activity in round 1, 2, and 3 of Garry, he still outstrikes him in round 2 and 3. I skipped ahead, but whatever. He outstrikes him in 2. He outstrikes him in 3 as well. And by a much bigger margin than he did in round 2, Garry does to Neal. So that's where you have it, 29-28 for Garry. Again, I'm still fucking confused on where you find a second round for Neal. Judges' scorecards. Felicia O has a 30-27 for Garry. And so does Saul D'Amato. I'll just give an honorable mention, but I'm not really too pissed about it. It's, again, I don't think it's close. I don't think round 1 is close. You know, fuck it. Honorable mention to Felicio for the first round and Saul D'Amato. But it's not close. This fight is not close in any sense of the imagination. They keep saying that. They kept saying it on commentary. It's close. It's not close. Derek Cleary gives the first round to Neal. He was the second round to Neal as well. Honorable mention there. That's definitely incorrect. And that's what we have so far. Boom. Next and last honorable mention, you have Whittaker versus Costa. I had a 30-27 for Whittaker. Close round on the first round. In that very first round, okay, Whittaker outstrikes Costa, and then at the very end of the round, Costa lands a leg kick, and then all of his follow-up shots after that all miss and whiff. If they had landed, I could see this round, in my opinion, being for Costa, but it's not. Whittaker outstrikes him clear, not super clear, but he's outstriking him comfortably, and then gets hit with the head kick at the very tail end of the round. None of the follow-ups are attached to it. I didn't want to call this a close round, but I had to, just to be objective. But personally, I think Whittaker wins this round. You go to the second round. Whittaker outstrikes Costa pretty clear, and then the same in the third round. That's where you get to 30-27. You go to the judges' scorecards. Ron McCarthy has this 29-28 for Whittaker. He gets the first round to Costa. Cool. Elliott Kelly, same as Ron McCarthy. And then Mike Bill, his scorecard reflects mine. And yeah, that's where you have it. Then the last fight, Volkanovski versus Topuria. 10-9 on all 3 judges' scorecards in the first round. Ron McCarthy, Derek Cleary, Saul D'Amato. People online, people saying the first round goes to Topuria. Again, what the fuck are you watching? I'm lost. I'm lost. 10-9 to Volkanovski in the first. Fuck it. It doesn't matter. Topuria knocks him out in the second round. So there. You're happy. I hope you're happy, because I'm not happy. I don't even know what to think. I don't even know what to do. I just hope it's a rematch. Let's get a rematch. I'm cool with that. I understand he's been knocked out, blah, 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 blah. Let's get a rematch. Because right now, we're in the midst of, it's either Evloev, which is fine. I'm fine with that. If they skip Volk and let Volk rest and give it Evloev, I think I would like that much better. I like that a lot better. I don't think that fight would be fun, cool to watch probably, but I think that's the next best option after Volk, because currently you have Holloway, who's fighting at lightweight, right? Yeah, who's fighting at lightweight right now, so he'd be preoccupied. Then you have next week, which is Yair Rodriguez versus Brian Ortega. And I don't want to see Brian Ortega fight for the title again, because why? That's super unnecessary. And then also Yair Rodriguez, who just recently fought for the title. It'd be way too soon. you could maybe argue for it if he does quick work of Ortega, or if he wins in spectacular fashion. I could see that being an option as well. But right now, everyone in the top 5 is pretty much occupied, and the only option is Volk or Evloev. So there you have it. That's all I got for this card. Thank you all for listening, and God bless.